Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of Previews Reviews, which takes a look at comic books coming into stores starting in June 2014. I'm Kevin Hickey.
And I am Ricky Lima.
And Ricky, can you please tell the lovely audience out there where the show is coming to them from?
It's coming to them from the Sidekick store in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, right beside the Walmart.
And who owns this Sidekick store?
Stadium Comics.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right beside the Walmart. That's key information for people.
It's
So
important.
they can come and they can get their comics and get, their George clothing.
Right behind the culinary school. There's one
Right
there.
Yeah.
So we got food, clothing.
Well, I mean, food as long as you're paying for an education there.
That's true.
But if you're doing that and also want comics, we're right next
here.
door. Previews is the magazine that most comic shops use to grab a large portion of their pop culture merchandise for their store, including the comics, which we're going to be talking about today. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming out in June, Ricky. A lot of cool stuff.
I mean, not as cool as the stuff that we said coming out in April.
Right. Right. For those of you who haven't watched our last episode of Previews Reviews, you definitely want to go check that out. Some pretty interesting titles coming out in spring 2014, and you'd be a fool not to check it out. Alright, we're going to kick it off today with a new direction for Superman with Superman issue number 32. The Man of Tomorrow, Chapter 1. A new era for Superman begins as Geoff Johns takes the reins, and he's joined by the legendary super talent of John Romita Jr. in his first ever work for DC Comics as they introduce Ulysses, the Man of Tomorrow, into the Man of Steel's life. This strange visitor shares many of Kal-El's experiences, including having been rocketed from a world with no future. Prepare yourself for a run full of new heroes, new villains, and new mysteries. Plus, Perry White offers Clark a chance to return to the Daily Planet. This is also going to feature a DC Comics Bombshells variant cover, which we'll talk about here in a second. Alright, so Geoff Johns returning to Superman after writing him somewhat in the Superman Secret Origin series a couple of years ago, and John Romita Jr.
Yeah, I think that's like the highlight of the series, John Romita Jr. doing DC work. And it looks pretty good. It looks wicked. Yeah,
there's just the one image here that we've seen, and it looks pretty awesome. I'm usually not too big of a fan of John Romita Jr. on big superhero books because every time I look at one of his characters, I just think Kick-Ass now.
That's true, yeah.
And but I'm interested to see the take that he brings to Superman. I think Superman's in need of an injection of something different.
Yeah.
And this definitely brings that to the table. I'm excited about Geoff Johns writing the character. I think that he's still one of the best writers in the game, although he hasn't been as, I guess, present in his comic writing as he has been in the last 5 to 10 years. So
he's busy, isn't he? Like co-publisher or something.
He's crazy. He's busy. It's also going to come with a blank cover variant, so lots of opportunities for variants with this Superman book, and I think it's going to be one worthy of an addition to your pull list.
Yeah, I think I'll pick up issue 32 and see if I like it or not.
What do you think this Ulysses guy's deal is? Is he like? Do you think he's actually got like the same experiences as Clark Kent?
Yeah.
Or do you think that he's just somebody contrived him, made up all of these things
like a clone.
to kind of mess with Superman's head a little bit, and hey, this guy had all the same experiences as you.
Maybe he's like a villain that comes from like literary works, so then they like
James Joyce is his creator.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool.
All right, up next we have Batman 66 meets the Green Hornet. In 1967, television history was made when two masked crime fighters met in a historic crossover. Now superstar filmmaker Kevin Smith and actor/comedian Ralph Garman joined forces with artist Ty Templeton to bring these two iconic characters and their famous partners together again. Set in the continuity of that early team-up, Batman, the Green Hornet, Robin, and Kato must go up against a very different general, formerly Colonel Gum. What crime could be so deadly as to force these two rivals to put aside their differences and join forces again? And what surprise does Gum have up his sticky sleeve? Co-published with Dynamite Entertainment.
Alright, so we got a DC Dynamite co-production here. And I am so excited for this book. So excited. Cover by Alex Ross, which looks amazing. And it's got 3 of like my favorite people in entertainment working on it. Obviously Kevin Smith, who's a huge influence in my life. Big fan of his films and everything that he's done. Ralph Garman, who, Ricky, I'm sure you don't know this.
No, I didn't.
Ralph Garman is the co-host of the Hollywood Babylon podcast with Kevin Smith. So, big fan of those two.
Okay.
And Ralph Garman also, you ever see the show Joe Schmo on Spike Television?
Isn't that like a reality show?
Yeah, he was like the fake host of the Joe Schmo show, which was a fake reality show. He was the host, anyway.
Maybe if I saw his face, I'd recognize him.
You probably would. He's been in a lot of stuff. He also does a lot of voices for Family Guy and other things.
All right.
So they're working together, and of course Ty Templeton is going to be working
good.
on the book.
See, like his run on, like his first Batman 66 issue was wicked.
Ty's perfectly suited for this title, and I'm so happy that the three of them are going to be working together on this book. I think it's going to be fantastic. And Ricky, I'm going to go ahead and make a big announcement right now.
Okay.
Free Comic Book Day.
Right.
Which is on May 3rd, 2014. Ty Templeton, the artist of this Batman 66 meets Green Hornet series, will be one of the featured guests at Free Comic
Whoa,
Book Day.
man. Nice.
Yeah. So we're super excited for that. Always great having Ty back in the store. The fans love him, and we love him even more.
I know I do.
Yeah. So get ready for that. So May 2014,
That's
Stadium
gonna be
Comics.
exciting. Now, Green Hornet doesn't have like any powers, right?
No, he doesn't. He's like Batman. He doesn't have any powers either. He's just Green Hornet's another rich guy with awesome car and a cool sidekick.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee as his sidekick.
That's true.
Actually, in the show. So yeah, it'll be lots of fun. The actual episodes where the crossover happened is like when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite episodes. I think it was a 2-parter. On the Batman show.
Whoa, you grew up in the 60s?
No, reruns, man. See, the '89 Batman movie came out. I became a huge Batman fan, and the only place where you could get more Batman, other than a comic shop on the screen, was the Batman '66 series, which was perpetually in reruns. So
You know, I watched a couple of those episodes.
man. It's good times.
I time travel though, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, you have that ability. Yeah. All right, Ricky, a new book from the mind behind The Walking Dead, as you like to call him, Hollywood Robert Kirkman, and it's called Outcast, issue number 1 from Image Comics. New horror series from The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman. Kyle Barnes has been plagued by demonic possession all his life, and now he needs answers. Unfortunately, what he uncovers along the way could bring about the end of life on Earth as we know it. It begins here with this terrifying double-sized first issue featuring 44 pages of story with no ads for the regular price of just $2.99. Ricky, I'm calling it right now. The situation that he uncovers that could bring about life on the end of life on Earth as we know it is what causes the zombification of everyone in the Walking Dead.
That would be interesting. Done.
We're way ahead of you, Kirkman. Way ahead of you.
On your games.
Yeah.
But is demonic possession like the new zombies? Do you think like demons will become the new thing?
Well, if anyone were to know, it would be Hollywood Robert Kirkman.
That's true.
Or HRK, as you affectionately refer to him as.
Sometimes that's what you get.
Looks pretty good though. It's full color. It's the art style is pretty neat. Paul Azaceta and Elizabeth Breitweister are on the art.
Yeah. How crazy is it that it's a double issue and it's $2.99?
Image does a lot of that though. I mean, you remember with Saga, I believe it was a 40-page, no ad, $2.99 issue.
As someone who like deals with printers, I have no idea how they can afford that.
Well, they're buying on big volume discount,
That's
right?
true.
They're all
That's
printing
true.
all their books.
Hey, Black Hole Hunters Club, we hundreds of issues at a time.
Well, they hook you in with the first issue for $2.99 and 40 pages, and then they give you 19 to 20 pages at $2.99 from then on.
Yeah, that's true.
Then on out. So
Yeah. That's okay.
maybe 22 with Image. Image might still be doing 22 pages.
They never have ads in their book, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and the great thing about Image is the first trade paperback that always comes out. It's always $9.99 for the most part. There's a few exceptions to that, but.
Yeah.
So what do you think, man? You looking forward to this series?
Yeah, like, I mean, it looks really interesting, and I like the concept of the demonic positions.
Right.
So we'll see, and the art looks really cool, so
All right.
probably pick it up.
There we go.
If the wallet warrants, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Looks like there is swearing in this book, so that's a plus. There is curse words. There are curse words, I should say.
Never go wrong with curse words.
That's it.
Up next, we have a book called The Wicked and the Divine. Every 90 years, 12 gods incarnate as humans. They are loved, they are hated, in 2 years they are dead. The team behind critically thermonuclear floor fillers, Young Avengers, and Phonogram reunite to start a new ongoing superhero fantasy with a beautiful, oversized issue. Welcome to The Wicked and the Divine, where gods are the ultimate pop stars. But remember, just because you're immortal doesn't mean you're going to live forever. I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
Well, Ricky, I think you might be onto something here. Possession, in some form, seems to be, the theme du jour of comics. So we have the demonic possession with Outcast #1 from Robert Kirkman, and then the Wicked and Divine possession by gods.
That's true.
So from what I'm understanding is you will be going along living your life on Earth as you are right now, and at some point a god might just decide to possess your body, and then that's it. Your life as a human is over.
I'm okay with that.
And now you are a god, but you're a god for only 2 years. And it's not really that you're a god. The god is just inhabiting
I'm dead.
You're the vessel for this god.
So wait, when the god dies, like, I'm dead?
That's it.
Forget that.
Yeah, you're not down for that?
No, man.
What if you didn't have any control over what you did or anything like that, but you're able to still, like, some part of your soul is able to see what you're doing as a god?
Cool. I'd be okay with that.
Would it be frustrating though? Or
Could I feel it?
No,
too?
man, use your god powers to do this instead of that.
Yeah, it's like watching a guy play a video game and you're just like, what are you doing?
Right.
Stop. Like, sometimes I'll be in class and then I'll see someone playing Tetris. And I'll be like, what are you doing?
A lot of people don't know this about Ricky, but he is a Tetris world champion.
Man, I don't wanna.
If you challenge him at Facebook Tetris, you're in for a world of hurt. I'll tell you that. He sucks at Flappy Bird.
That's a tough game.
But Tetris he's good at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. The art actually looks very much like the Young Avengers tale, which is, I mean, to be expected since it's the same artist, I guess. But
the thermonuclear floor filling.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I have no idea. What? Some of these copywriters, they write some pretty ridiculous stuff.
You know, I look back to the last episode we did where, some of those 80s and 90s sitcoms were being brought back to comics. That was good copy. The people who were writing those comics,
yeah, no, that's brilliant.
The advertising copy for those comics, they knew what they were doing. Just saying.
The one guy.
Yeah, man. All right, so Wicked and Divine looks like it's going to be great. Bryan Lee O'Malley is actually doing a variant cover for
That's
this,
exciting.
which is exciting. Yeah.
You don't see him much in comics now.
No, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Next up, from Ballantine Books, we don't normally feature Ballantine Books on the previous reviews. We have Seconds, a graphic novel by Bryan Lee O'Malley. The highly anticipated new standalone full-color graphic novel from Bryan Lee O'Malley, author and artist of the hugely best-selling Scott Pilgrim graphic novel series. Seconds is a complex and novelistic standalone story about a young restaurant owner named Katie, who after being visited by a magical apparition, is given a second chance at love and to undo her wrongs. Fans new and old will love Bryan's bold and quirky style, infused with his subtle, playful humor.
Yeah,
All right.
I can see that. Because, Bryan Lee O'Malley is all about, showing real life.
Right.
And this book is the most realistic you can get. As a store owner, can you relate?
I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate. What would you want to go back and fix about your past? What's one thing, if you could go back and fix it?
I don't know. I'd probably go back and tell myself to buy more copies of Saga.
Why Saga? There's so many other books. You tell yourself in 2003 to go buy a copy of Walking Dead #1.
That's true too. Yeah. But I wasn't really into comics back then. So.
I would go back in time to when we hired Ricky and not hire him.
No.
Yeah.
And sell the story to me, right?
You wish.
No, I wouldn't want to own this. Too much pressure.
That's right, man. It's a tough game. How do you think this book is going to do? Do you think all the Scott Pilgrim fans are going to come out and support this one? Or has it been too long since the success of Scott Pilgrim to really get the buy-in of those people?
No, because I think Scott Pilgrim had like a really solid fan base,
right?
And I think they're gonna go out and support like Bryan O'Malley. Like we had his other book, his first one,
Lost at Sea.
Yeah, and that sold pretty well. Like
Yeah.
we brought in like 2 copies like 2 weeks ago.
We brought in 2 copies
No.
and they sold. Like,
yeah, that's pretty good.
They really came out and supported that one. Those O'Malley fans.
That's pretty good for like an older.
I mean, in
title.
fairness, it's an older title
Yeah.
and it's one that's been around for a while.
But this, like, I don't know why he's going with Valentine. Like, why not Oni? I'd imagine Oni Press was probably like knocking on his door to publish this.
Who knows? Maybe he's just got a better deal with them, right?
Maybe.
Now, the interesting thing about this is it's a one and done graphic novel.
Yeah.
It seems like it's not going to be a serialized
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah,
It's a
what's interesting
standalone.
about this is they almost advertise it as like a normal novel. Like even if you look at the ad they have here,
Right.
it looks like an ad for a novel, like Angels and Demons or something. It's a Dan Brown book. So
Yeah, it does. It does look like it's. You wouldn't know from looking at it necessarily that it is a
yeah,
graphic novel.
exactly.
It's weird, but it's going to be in full color, which is going to be awesome. Can't wait to see this book.
Thanks.
It's going to be good. And lastly, today we have Big Trouble in Little China, issue number 1 from Boom Studios. No, this isn't part of our April Fool's episode. This is actually happening. Jack Burton, a macho truck-driving adventurer, finds a stowaway hiding on his rig, the Pork Chop Express. But that soon becomes the least of his troubles. He helped his best friend Wang save his fiancée from the clutches of a demon, but now the wedding has been invaded by more evil forces with one thing on their minds: revenge against Jack Burton. Okay. This is awesome because Big Trouble in Little China, one of the greatest movies of the 1980s, hands down. And, this doesn't just, kind of like look at an in-between part of the story or focus on the movie itself. This actually picks up right where the movie left off. It's a very famous scene in Big Trouble in Little China where they have like this big cliffhanger ending. And you think, oh my God, like, is there going to be a sequel?
Yeah.
And no sequel ever came. and the cliffhanger ending was there was this like monster that was like that had hitched a ride on Jack Burton's truck.
Okay.
So now you're thinking like, oh, what's this monster going to do? Whatever happened to Jack Burton? Well, like 30 years later, we're going to find out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I need to watch this movie.
You do need to watch it. It's by John Carpenter, so
you know
it's good. The story for this is actually by John Carpenter as well for the new book. Eric Powell from The Goon is doing the script, which I think is a great fit for this story. They've got a bunch of variant covers for the book. My favorite is the tank top incentive cover, which basically is just Jack Burton's tank top as the cover.
Is this movie like a comedy?
Yeah, it's a big comedy.
I've never seen
It's
it.
it's Kurt Russell's finest work in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, and the fact that you haven't seen it just blows my mind.
Sorry.
You've seen so many other crappy films, and
that's
you've
true.
never seen Big Trouble in Little China. If you guys haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China, check it out.
I think it's on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix. It's great. So who knows what this will lead to, Ricky? Maybe it will lead to an actual sequel for the movie.
Maybe there's
You
like
never know.
a new renaissance of like 80s movies and television shows.
of 80s movies that pay
Yeah.
tribute to 70s kung fu genre.
Hopefully, yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be awesome. Then they'll release like a Karate Kid comic.
Oh man,
3 Ninjas
I would love that.
comic. You ever
Who's the
watched-
boss? 3 Ninjas, I can do without.
What?
Yeah.
Is it because it came out in the late
Except for the
80s?
one with that Hogan was in. He was in one of the 3 Ninjas movies. Hulk Hogan. That was a good one. A few of you might be asking, why aren't we covering anything Marvel? Well, they don't really have any new number ones in the month of June. They're focusing heavily on Original Sin, which is ongoing in Marvel for the month of June. And a lot of Spider-Man related content. The Learning to Crawl prequel story is going to be going on by Dan Slott and Ramon Perez, in addition to Amazing Spider-Man, which is still going to be going strong. And then over at Titan Comics, we have all new #1s for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They're actually doing 2 different series. They're doing a 10th Doctor series and an 11th Doctor series. So both of them ongoing, and both of them with all new #1s in the month of June. And then we've got the Bombshell covers from DC Comics. They're doing a special run of Bombshell variants for several of their titles. The Bombshells, of course, designed by Ricky's Aunt Lucia, and those are going to be, I promise you, some of the finest looking comic covers in the industry. And I think we're going to be doing a Bombshell covers collector pack on our website. So check out store.stadiumcomics.com. Maybe by the time this goes up, that collector's pack will be live, but you'll be able to basically buy every Bombshell cover that comes out during the month of June in advance. So that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all next time when we take a look at Collectibles coming out starting in the month of June 2014. Take care, everyone.